Welcome to the Iceberg Cottage 12-story condominium project plan. We'll be discussing the background, methodology, objective, schedule, some work breakdown structures, resource breakdown structures, the budgets, work performance reports, resource sheets, responsibility matrix, stakeholder, risk, procurement, and communication management plan, as well as best practices and significant findings. The team includes Sohib, myself, Umaima, and Nardos. Toronto is heavily populated already and increasing rapidly, and so are housing demands. And so Iceberg Engineering Incorporate has partnered with Toronto Community Housing to bring you the Iceberg Cottage, located on Queen Street and Sherbourne Avenue. The goal of this project is to build a mixed-use multi-story building to meet the current and future housing demand. The methodology includes the best practices and the 9 steps to success, specifically steps 1 to 5 and 9, as well as the use of MS projects to initiate, plan, execute, control, and close the project. In the scope management, decomposition technique was implemented to divide deliverables into work packages. The top and bottom approach was used to produce the work breakdown structure. This is the work breakdown structure. It was created on AutoCAD, as MS Projects does not have the feature that displays a work breakdown structure in a typical tree format. However, project scheduling that was done on MS Projects was used to create this work breakdown structure as well. Scope requirements. Based on similar projects and experiences, the following scope requirements have been compiled. Further action and subtraction will be made with the stakeholders' approval. The Stakeholder Engagement Action Plan was established to effectively manage stakeholders. The stakeholder register that you see here includes the roles of each stakeholder, their interests in the project, the impact that they have, the level being high or low, and the action after analyzing the stakeholders. A stakeholder engagement action plan outlines the current and desired engagement level for each stakeholder. Through communication with the stakeholders, interests of each stakeholder are identified, and documents such as issue logs, change requests, and project update documents are developed. Microsoft Projects, or MS Projects, is used to develop stakeholder directory, which includes important information about each stakeholder. The table here is the resource sheet created using MS Projects that shows work resources that have been assigned to tasks based on their expertise. Once assigned, some resources will be overallocated, such as the ones here in red, and the remaining resources were not overallocated. The responsibility assignment matrix. A high-level RAM defines a team or group responsible for the task. In the case of Iceberg Cottage, a high-level RAM has been developed for the major deliverables. The other form of RAM is the lower level of RAM. It was used to assign roles and responsibilities within specific teams, such as the geotechnical design team and the structural design team. Resource management. MS Projects has generally simplified this process. Once resources have been assigned to tasks, we were able to identify overallocated resources from the resource sheet. Then 2 resource optimization techniques were used. The first being resource leveling, which was applied to redistribute over-allocated resources, and the second technique was smoothing, which are used when we aren't able to extend the project schedule. Responsibility Assignment Matrix, or RAM, was used to effectively manage resources. It defined which stakeholders were responsible, accountable, and which could be consulted and informed. The risk management. Integrated risk management method is used to manage risks that have been identified. Several measures, such as creating detailed drawings and seeking approval from the City of Toronto and engineers, are taken to minimize potential risks. The table here highlights some risks, their impacts, probabilities in the project risk register. The register also provides a plan of action or a response scenario for the owners to handle the project's potential risks. They may wish to transfer, accept, mitigate, or avoid the risk accordingly. For procurement management, for our project, building information model was used for the procurement management plan. This technique significantly reduces construction claim, which will reduce project cost. So, the best practices in accordance with the PMBOK guide, there are several project management methodologies that can be used to implement the management plan established. This method, the integration management method, was used to ensure that the various elements of the project are properly coordinated. It also avoids confusion. Step 9 of the best practices include the integrated change control. If a change is required or requested, the integrated change control workflow will be followed to ensure that the deliverables are aligned with the project scope. The figure on the slide shows the change management workflow for this project. Quality management. To ensure optimal quality of the project is achieved, quality audit techniques seemed to be the most practical method. Furthermore, we differentiated quality specs to differentiate it from grades. The above cause and effect diagram shows sources that negatively impact the project quality. Communication management plan is achieved by actively engaging stakeholders through meetings and correspondence. Best practices include the integrated risk management, which allows potential risks to be managed at suitable levels, and MS Projects is used to develop a schedule and track the status of the project. It will also be used in the future to assign the manage resources to tasks, manage the budget, and analyze workloads. Some significant findings include the hiring of contractors and construction staff, as well as obtaining building permits and inspections as milestones. In some cases, inspections may be rescheduled or due to incomplete work, so this will take extra time, and so will hiring a qualified construction team. So there should be some time frame for these as well, since they will be causing delays in the project overall. Another significant finding is the scheduling the scheduling to avoid outside extreme weather conditions, especially in the winter time. If you look closely, the design aspect goes from January to May of 2022, which is all work that can be done indoors, the design phase. The construction phase, external work, starts in May and ends in September. Most of the time it would be summer. And then, once September hits, they will start the internal work, and that will last all the way to March. Again, the internal work will be done inside while there is, while the winter season is going on. So this is a strategy to avoid extreme weather conditions. However, in the case of extreme weather conditions or certain acts of God, insurance companies will cover the organization. In conclusion, project management plans were developed based on methods and techniques from the PMBOK guide and other resources. Methodologies and best practices studied are implemented for each knowledge area, and the MS Project has been used as a key tool for the project management plan. Our recommendations include choosing the best fitting methodologies, implementing best practices, communicating with stakeholders constantly, and using the right software to aid the process, which we believe is MS Projects. Thank you for listening.